Hi, Sully. What you bring for us today, buddy?
Man, this is a special. This is a white wheat mash bill, Dettling mash bill. Okay.
Dettling mash bill.
Yeah, white wheat. And the white wheat aspect is important to emphasize. There's other types of wheats.
Okay.
So he's using a white wheat mash bill on this special one. This is actually a sister barrel to the first charity, which we're going to talk about, this charity that I just went up for a barrel pick for. So this is a sister barrel, and it was a home run for them. And I've never had his white wheat mash bill. He usually does a 6 grain. That's the standard Dettling mash bill, is a 6 grain mash bill. Specifics are private, nobody knows, but
So this is a cask strength single barrel, aged 72 months.
yeah, 6 years, short barrel. It was in the upper rack of Rickhouse number 1. And this is been in a, what does that say? Is it Kelvin Cooperage?
Mm-hmm.
Kelvin Cooperage. What's that say there?
Heavy toast.
Heavy toast char.
Number 3 char.
Number 3 char, yep. And this is the barrel head to the charity pick barrel that we chose. We all signed it. And that's being bottled soon. That's the logo that's going to be, the sticker is going to be on the side of these bottles. But this one, this should be, I hope this looks good. This is probably going to be uneventful to get off, but it could be. Nope, it's good.
And what's the, I've noticed with their packaging, sometimes it's red, sometimes it's gold. What's up with the gold?
Well, the gold is when Seth tastes it and chooses it to be just stellar. A stellar barrel gets the gold wax. It's reserved just for those barrels. And this is one of them.
Very nice.
So, fresh open.
Yeah, let's open it up and pour some and let her breathe and see what she do. If it doesn't whip your butt.
It's whooping me.
There you go.
That
You get it?
I think it's still grabbing the bottom part of the wax. Yeah, it is.
Man.
Yeah. I like the uniqueness of Vicky's
Dippage.
dipping there. This one is grabbing the bottom. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Whoa, nice sound. All right, buddy.
Pour
away.
do what she do.
All right, I'll get mine first here. Look how dark that is. Whew. Seth says this is some of the darkest he's ever produced.
Well, if it's a short barrel, and this looks like Coca-Cola. It is that dark.
Yeah.
The I guess the cool thing about it is this is what you said, the white wheat. So tell me, the differences in the wheat?
There's red wheat, white wheat, other wheats, but it needs to be emphasized that it's a white wheat.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's all his grains are food grade.
Right.
Nothing's the kind of grains that would go to livestock. It's literally human grade grains. So I think this might be a 5 grain. That he says that when you first taste it, you are going to make a face.
Oh, man. It's got some rich tones to it.
You get that chocolate?
Yeah.
Is that amazing?
Finish. It's like a chocolate finish.
It's so amazing.
Just it's got there's no fire to it or any pepperish right up front, and you get a little bit of a. Let me try that again.
So it's just right at like. It's right at like 110 proof.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's smooth on the front of your tongue.
Oh yeah, it's.
And then it tickles like mid part, and then it's smooth on the back, and you just get that dark, roasty chocolate finish. It's warm. It gives you a good hug. Yeah, but it's
Is that
a
amazing?
good warm.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
So in layman's terms, it's a wheated bourbon.
Okay.
So it's not a wheated whiskey because wheated whiskey is 51% wheat. This is still at least 51% corn, so it's a bourbon.
Very nice.
Yeah, but that Dettling chocolate that's in there, that chocolate note that you always get, is thank God in everything he makes, even his ryes. Now some can have a little citrusy to them, but the chocolate always comes out some more than others. But this is the darkest. I mean, look at it. Well, it's not up there anymore, but comparing it to his old original label, the 2-year, I mean, it's just night and day.
Yeah.
And when these are in those sample bottles, sitting there next to like others that have been in that age range, this is still the darkest. It's crazy.
Man.
You can't even see through the bottle, laying on the side.
So you guys went up there for the firefighter pick. And so how is, you remember back a few weeks, how is this bottle compared to the bottle that the firefighters and you guys picked?
So that one ended up being a standard 6-grain, Dettling 6-grain mash bill that we picked.
Gotcha.
When Jake did the human trafficking awareness charity, when they went for that barrel pick last year, they got to sample he believes it was like 2 barrels of the white wheat. And they ended up running with that because it was like this one was supposed to be an enthusiast pick. And this one wasn't the human trafficking was for enthusiast aspect as well. But for whatever reason, this one was just like the home run of the day. And they went with it. And those all sold out. Like they're gone. This one, like I think about a little less than half are sold. So,
and who's it for?
It's for, what does it say? Is it Little Rock?
Oh, now you want me to get super tiny.
Isn't that Little Rock? Volunteer Fire Department? Right over here.
Oh, there it is up there.
What's it say?
Yep, Little Rock Volunteer Fire Department.
So Little Rock, that's the fire department right on the outskirts of Atmore, Alabama, which Seth's in Atmore. Okay. And everything out there, all those fire departments in the whole area, they're all volunteer.
Right.
All volunteer. It's crazy. And there's Seth's one of the volunteers, and everybody has to be on board. Like they can be called out. He almost got called out during our barrel pick. Yeah, it's all volunteers. And so they'll go to other jurisdictions, help them if they can respond first, or they'll respond to them, whatever happens, but they're all like on the same channel, I guess. And
so it's in production now?
Yeah, it's being bottled as soon as the glass shows up.
Gotcha.
And they don't have to sell out. We don't have to sell all the bottles before he starts putting them in bottles.
Okay.
So they're going to get done. We'll have ours. We'll do another show when we get that bottle.
You know how many bottles are supposed to be produced?
Somewhere between 190 and 200.
All right. Any pre-sales already happened?
Yeah. Pre-sales were almost half sold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been out, it's only 2 weeks out now?
And where's the pre-sales at?
I'll have it up on there. You go to a Google Doc. You complete the Google Doc, and then you PayPal the volunteer fire department.
Wow.
And then they compare. When you do that, though, like Jake said, it needs to be clear that you're using your accurate email address compared to your IG account, and he wants your IG username put in there so he can totally correlate. The payment was with this completed doc.
Yeah, and with only how many barrels? How many bottles?
190.
190, and about half gone already.
Yep.
So,
and I think that you get to, if I remember the doc, they're not going to sell more than 3 per person, I believe. So, but yeah. So what was it? 2 Fridays ago? It was something like that, right? 2 Fridays ago, drove up there and stayed overnight in Atmore. And then the next morning, it was the barrel pick team was majority of firemen.
Okay.
Area, not just that area, but some guys came from Mississippi, other places too.
Gotcha.
And a couple firemen had weren't able to come. They were initially on the team, and then Chris, who I had took with me, he ended up being on the barrel pick team. He ended up being recruited, which was cool because he's got this young palate and still like learning bourbon and stuff.
Yeah.
And for him to now experience, it blew his mind, So yeah, Seth showed us around. Some of the guys hadn't seen the operation, so he shows you everything, all the the distilling aspect, bottling aspect.
Now you guys are pulling it straight from the thief when you're testing it.
Oh
so.
yeah, straight out thieving it, or if there was a pre sample, like some of the barrels are in such difficult locations that they had to do they tap it from the side, on the head. They'll tap the head. So some of them were that way, some of them were thieved.
Okay.
And you'll see videos. I've got some thieving pours and stuff. Videos will play.
So touring his production facility and stuff, when it comes out of the barrel, is it charcoaled? Is it filtered? It just goes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's no charcoal. I mean, it has some kind of
like a mesh.
But that's it. There's no cold filtering. There's no charcoal. It's just you are getting the real deal. You're not going to have any sediment. You make sure of that.
Right.
And he's been doing a new procedure to really have the bottles like super clean. Mm. He's got a bottle washing station now, and he takes the heads because they're just like super cleaning fluid.
Yeah.
Cleans the bottles. They evaporate, so they're 100% clean inside, crystal clear, and then they get filled.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Super good juice. Super good. So with this, we talked about the color. We talked about the wax, which is super cool. Something I didn't know about.
Mm-mm.
And
you won't see if you see a gold on the shelf at an ABC in Alabama or the circumferencing city, states, pick up. If you see a gold wax Dettling, you better get it.
Yeah, and their ABC is not like our ABC, right?
No, it's state controlled.
Okay.
Alabama Bureau of whatever it is, it's state controlled. So they've got a lockdown, really difficult lockdown on the distillers, and to do work in that state, to do what they're doing, it's, you have a lot of, everything is perfect, organized, your documentation, your legal aspects. He's the original guy for the state. So, but nobody's creating this whiskey at this level. His 2-year stuff is more like 4 years. So this is 6-year, right?
Okay. Yeah. 72 months on the.
Yeah. If you were somewhere else, that might take 8 to get to this level. If you can
Alabama, they got that southern humidity.
It goes up and down.
They get that cold.
You could be sweating in the early. You could be shivering in the evening.
Yeah.
I mean, we've started a podcast there before. You're fine, and then your next thing you know, it's dark, and you're shivering. It can change dramatically. And he just painted. So Rickhouse 2 and 3, the new ones.
Okay.
Most of those have rye in them, aging rye. And those when he put those up, they were painted black right away. Well, he just painted Rickhouse 1 black to really emphasize
that heat.
Yeah, and so he just put on his IG, I think, or wherever I saw it, they laid a whole row of barrels on the upper, the highest part of Rickhouse 1, and that's where this came from.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so for 6 years, right? This thing was this
on the top.
Yeah. Getting cooked and cooled and cooked and cooled.
Wow. For this to be a top Rickhouse barrel, because how big are his Rickhouses? I've never seen them. Like, if you had to guess how many barrels go up to the
Rickhouse 1, because it's a flood, it can flood.
Okay.
There's nothing on the floor level, because there's actually water lines from the river, from the big Escambia Rising onto his property, actually goes, you can see lines in the windows.
Okay. Same thing at Buffalo Trace. When you go back there,
they can flood?
Yeah, they flood. So back where the greenhouses and it's really, you can see them on there from the river behind it.
Huh. So. Well, so He does a second level, third level, and then
Okay.
I didn't even know there was that single row up there that high. I didn't even know it was up there until I saw this photo. But so I mean, I'll play a video. We'll show the video of me doing a walkthrough of Rickhouse 1. And you can see the rows.
Okay.
They're not that big. I mean, but it's big enough and it's sustainable for him. So he's got room in 3, and 2 has still got room. So he's got expansion. He's got plenty of expansion. His rick houses, he has enough to handle what he can, what he needs to do. He's not running out of space anymore.
I got to say, this is delicious, but it's consistent from your first sip
He said that would be that way.
all the way. I mean, I'm almost done with this one, and it's just consistent.
So smooth.
It's smooth on the front of the tongue, a little bit of a burn on the middle, smooth on the back, and you get that nice char-ish chocolate finish.
Yep.
Which, you said he really likes to, have that chocolate finish or, hint in all of his stuff that he produces. And I gotta say, if the Firefire barrel bottle, if it is as good as this,
Yeah, it'll be lower wheat.
okay,
It'll be a 6 grain, lower wheat. It's still amazing. And I'll tell you how we ended up going with the barrel we went with. Because here's the team right here. Here's the barrel pick team.
very nice.
So here you go. You can see first low, that's Rickhouse 1. So first row is
Okay.
empty, right?
Yeah,
And then you got, so what do you probably see about 8, 16, and then you can go 3 deep. I think he's about 3 deep in some of those. You can do the math.
yeah. See you and Chris back there in there,
Yeah.
and
Yep. So most of the barrels that we sampled came from the back side. So this is the front side. That photo is being taken from the entry door.
okay,
So the back side, my favorite pour came from the same row as the choice pour, is in the back left. And then there was like a front left, and then there was a center barrel. So they all came from nothing on this row right here, really. It was all on the other side. And it ended up being blind. Barrels were thieved. Nobody knew where anything was coming from, so you couldn't be wondering about the cooperage and the chars. You weren't able to, guess, and you didn't know the locations. So it was literally it was just pour 1 through 4.
gotcha.
Not barrel 1 through 4, just pour 1 through 4. So I took notes, and we got pour 1. It was very Dettling-y-ish, and it had this unique, like a citrus, slight citrus aspect to it. And I didn't catch on to that citrus until someone said it. I was like, I knew something unique was going on there. So one was not one of my finalists. And then 2 came down. 2 ended up being like very Dettling, very reminiscent of like the Bottle and Bond, actually, from 2018.
Okay,
Because you've had that.
yeah.
Or you've had the single barrel. I forgot what you had, but
I think we had both.
I brought you back a Bottle and Bond last time, right?
Yeah.
So it was very reminiscent of that. And then 3 was unique. It was darker. And then there was 4. Now,
Okay.
pour 4 was astronomically unique. Like my side of the picker's porch, the group on my side, we all were like totally agreeing on 2 and 4.
Okay. And what'd you guys choose?
We ended up going with 3. The other side of the room, the organizer Jake was on, and Seth kind of broke it down the center, mediating. And then those guys went with, they chose 1 and 3, and we're over here picking 2 and 4. So the room is split, and in the end, when we're coming down to what are we going to blind on the final, we're split, totally opposites.
Wow.
But I understood once I listened to I was thinking getting something that just is totally unique, and that would be for that. But it really needed to be an enthusiast pick. So not something that you need to be super advanced on. The average Dettling drinker will love it. A new drinker will love it, right? And 3 did make the most sense.
Okay.
And we end up having lunch, coming back, blinded 2 pours.
Okay.
Didn't know which one was what. So we blinded that, and we ended up going with 3. Everybody agreed on 3. Well, the majority agreed on 3. And that's so 3 came from the back left. And it was a very difficult, the cat, sorry.
I got it.
There you go. The corner, that
Got
was
that
like,
wax on there.
yeah. I didn't know what it was going to do. That back corner is the opposite corner of the other magic corner.
Okay.
So this back behind this gentleman, like highest up in the photo, straight back, that's a magic corner. The bottle and bonds usually come from that corner.
Cool.
So
I can't wait to try that.
You're gonna love it, man. It's not gonna be as it won't be as creamy like this, but the flavor is to die for as well.
And you said they got about half left.
Yeah, I think the last number was 71 sold right now.
Okay. There's about 190, you said.
Yeah.
Ish, give or take.
So it's less than half, right? So we're at
Yeah, 77.
So there's plenty available.
180.
We're recording this. We'll put this out a week from now at the max, maybe less. It'll only be like 3 weeks in to this, and there'll be plenty of barrels, and get on it because these fire departments really, really need this dough to function. And
they're American heroes,
Yeah. They're volunteers, man.
And they're volunteers, and if a whole town burns down, it's devastating, and it's happened, especially in I the Great Birmingham fires. If you want to look at Alabama history, just to be exact, I guess it generates funds for a good cause, and can't wait to try it, especially if it the Dettling, it's everything from that bottle and bond to the single barrel. And, this is the Cask strength single barrel, 72 months, 54.7. It's pretty dang good.
What do you think? Do you think a brand new sipper would like this? Or is it a little hot for them? What do you think?
I think after their first couple sips, their palate would adjust to what, and then they can actually start enjoying the flavors. When you're talking about nose, when I nose this, you're a cigar smoker.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke maybe 2 cigars a year.
You getting the tobacco?
When I nose this, I'm imagining a nice dark, cigar, not a light Fuente but a nice dark cigar,
like a Maduro or something. Yeah, when you take, Seth had us do something that I had not done before, because we had fresh Glens for all the pours, and he said on pour 4, which was, I was absolutely in love with 4. So I took the 4. He said take your fourth pour glass. And just air it out. So we were just forcing air into it upside down.
Okay.
And then you smell that glass. It was like oaky tobacco. It was an aroma that was nowhere in it before.
Up. Yeah.
It was totally crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you did that something, in here with that, this one you're going to have about the same thing. But it's funny you're picking up that tobacco and that oaky. It's delicious. It's hard to explain to someone like tobacco tastes good, but it is there.
Yeah. Tobacco is a crop of the earth, and it's
it is a strong nose, tobacco on the nose. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And it's just to, not sound weird. I mean, it smells good and it tastes good.
Yes.
And, we cracked it right here. So I didn't get to try any of it beforehand.
I've never had the weeded mash bill. This is my first time.
Okay. you go there a couple times a year, so wasn't sure. But this bottle here, if you can find it, in the ABC in Alabama and a couple, any of the surrounding states that may have it.
I think Mississippi, Panhandle of Florida.
Okay.
And the thing is, this one's so limited. It went selectively, small batch. It's probably gone. I hear there's some cases in some place in Alabama that the stores are being reorganized and there's some kind of issues going on, and that's what happened. Okay. So the ABC app is pretty cool about telling you what is where.
Okay.
So you can just drive there and but the problem is if it's probably there, but they didn't find it in the back, and you got to insist, I'm telling you, you're supposed to have 4 Dettlings here. Can you please double check? And they can sometimes go in the back and discover them. And that might happen to this is these will be discovered, when they're finally cleaning up one day and they hit the shelf.
Very nice.
So there's a SKU for it.
Yeah. If you can find it, I wish you luck because this is good.
Yeah.
Lee, I appreciate you bringing me here today for this, and I look forward to that charity barrel pick for the Little Rock Volunteer Fire Department because, everybody loves firefighters. And everybody loves if your house is on fire and they show up to help save it. So they need money for a good cause. Go out there and find it. And what you got there?
So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is 3. See how dark 3 is?
Yeah.
And you can look at the color of 1. You can see why that taste stood out. This one, number 4, looks really similar to 3. This, like I said, 4 was, if I could afford to buy a barrel 4, it will sell. It's going to probably already sold. It is so amazing. But that one would be astronomical to have bottled. I'm jealous whoever gets that. This one, kind of like I said, pour to your textbook Dettling. But this is 3. That's what's coming out, and that's Jake's. A little. See the color of that 3 in his Glencairn there.
No, I didn't know you had all these stacked up waiting.
Yeah, here's the sticker. That's the wax. It'll be a red wax.
Okay.
Came in bead form. So when you receive your bottles, you're going to know you have it. They're going to be mossy oak, mossy cypress will be putting those on there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Little Rock, Alabama.
That was the team there. Yeah, there was some firemen, some guys from Mississippi Sippers came. They were super knowledgeable about whiskey. This guy right here on the left, he was sitting across from me, and he and I were totally on board. The same sort of notes and favorites and stuff. And it was cool because Chris, being a brand new guy, he loved 4 as well. But then he was like, no, 3 can make the most sense.
Very nice.
Yep.
Well, hopefully it sells out. I appreciate it.
Cheers. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, man. I'll see you in a couple weeks when we get this one, the next one going.
Yeah, absolutely.